and that'll be introduced and demonstrated by Johnny Parker and Gary Job.
Right. Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, judges. What we've got for you is the DN-S3700 from Denon. As you can tell, it's a CD deck with a direct drive 9-inch moving platter. 3 different torque options on the platter. The highest one of which takes it above and beyond the normal Technics SL1210 torque. And also that torque is adjustable from the settings. DJ is also upgrading from CD decks. We'll be able to use various options for pitch bending. So for example, you can adjust the pitch either by nudging the platter, using the strobe dots down the side, or with the pitch bend buttons, or indeed using the real vinyl surface that's on top of the platter itself as well. The 3700 has got 3 auto hot starts and seamless loops. That's on the top left-hand side of the player. It's also got a fully adjustable manual seamless loop on the top right-hand side of the player. So that gives you 4 seamless loops, 4 hot starts, obviously with a lot of music being based around 4 beats. Then that gives you quite a lot of creativity as far as perhaps loading individual drum samples onto each of the hot starts, playing it like a drum machine. The auto seamless loops are adjustable for any length and can also be trimmed down to do various beat cutting type effects, as quite common on dance music currently. Also, we've got several effects on board here, which will be the echo and loop. We've got flanger, which is BPM synced, and also 3 different filter effects, high, medium and low, all adjustable. And as I say, also linked up to the BPM of the music, which is automatically worked out on the 3700s. Also, if you're playing music from a genre that's perhaps got quite unusual beat patterns, beat structures, etc., you've got different ways of dialing in the BPM, either by using the tap button on the unit to get the BPM that way, or you can just dial in the BPM using the rotary controls if you know the BPM yourself. Now, I mentioned it's a CD deck. It's also got a USB port on the back. That means you can plug in a hard drive or pen drive onto the USB there. And the interesting thing there is, of course, you don't have to carry crates and crates of CDs around with you. Now, on the USB port, you can plug in a hard drive up to 50,000 tracks on the one hard drive, and also up to 1,000 playlists on that hard drive too, up to 99 tracks in the playlist. Now, having all those tunes with you is great as a DJ. However, not being able to find the right tune at the right time is rather a bit of a no-no. No good having that tune in there somewhere. What we can do with the 3700 is you can add a QWERTY keyboard to the back of it, plugs in on an industry standard connector. That way you can search for any of the tunes in your 50,000 collection using the keyboard for any particular word out of the tune. We also have got something great on here called 2-step search. What that is allows you to search for only the tunes that meet 2 of your criteria at the same time. So say, for example, you want to find a tune that's hard dance as the genre, and you want it, say, within 10 BPM, either way of, say, 130. The 3700 will shortlist that for you, so you're not looking through hundreds or thousands of tunes for the one you want. That's 2-step searching, unique to the Denons. What we've also got on here, you can use the USB port as a connection to a computer for running things such as virtual DJ, decks, etc. Also coming up in January, we've got native support coming up from Serato for the 3700 in January. And of course, being MIDI, which this is, any MIDI PC software can be controlled using the 3700 as a control system there. Now, the display on board the 3700 at the back of the unit there, we've not left it flat. It's tilted up. That aids the DJ, Johnny in this case, being able to see all of the details on the display. It does offer a waveform display as well on the display there. And rather than just the ordinary waveforms that a lot of people may have gotten used to over the years on CD decks, etc., these waveforms allow you to show and see all of the hot starts that you've got set up. Also seamless loops that you've set up, whether you're setting them up live or whether they've been memoed onto the USB stick. And those seamless loops will show up underneath the waveform to show you them sort of bracketed or bookmarked off. Other than that, we've got 3 additional platter effects of reverse, dump and also a brake effect which is adjustable. And on top of that, of course, obviously Denon reliability. A lot of the hot starts, seamless loops, etc. Those buttons, as well as the play and cue, are illuminated. DJs moving over, upgrading from other brands, you can adjust the play and cue on here to work as the industry standards that are around at the moment by having the play and cue in other brand mode. All of your favourite presets are on there too. That's the 3700. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much for the demonstration, Johnny and Gary. We've got some questions for you. I'm going to start off with a question. What's the scratching facility like on the Denon's DN-S?
Okay, scratching facility. Now Johnny's already admitted he's not much of a scratcher, unless he's been in the nettles. But Johnny, can you do some sort of slow spin backs?
Thank you. Any questions from the judges? James?
No. Yeah, I really like the idea of it, but I remember when the first Denon CD player that looked very similar came out quite a few years ago. We had one at Cafe Mambo and I was playing around with it a lot, and the overall feel I wasn't that happy with, and I played with it a lot and I kind of ended up not using it after a few weeks. Is the overall feel of the wheel and everything else sort of as it improved? It's very good, but it felt quite alien to me at the time and I wasn't that happy with it.
If only you weren't 15 feet away, I'd invite you up. Basically, the original player, and I think the one that you're referring to in that club, probably the 3500, which was belt drive. On this one, it's direct drive, and as I say, 3 adjustable torque settings, the top one of which is actually slightly higher torque than the Technics 1200, 1210s. Also on this, real vinyl on the top, and there's even a slip mat in the assembly as well, so for things like spin backs, etc. It's as real to vinyl as you get, and in fact the vinyl on that you can play.
Right, okay.
If I may. One of the main points to remember with any CDJ really is that it's a CDJ, and if you just want to play tunes, you don't have to use the motorised platter. It's really handy for queuing up and setting cue points and all the rest of it, but you don't have to use it. If you just want to use this unit to play tunes on CDs, you can use all the standard kind of queuing and speeding up and speeding down facilities that most CDJs have. But if you are a turntablist, or if you do want to have an authentic scratch feel, then there simply isn't anything else that compares to this. But the scratching element of it isn't the be-all and end-all. You can just use it like a normal CDJ as well.
And one other quick point, you say about plugging in a keyboard, because what would interest me would be using it with my hard drive. So you just literally plug in a standard keyboard and use it to search, and it works.
Yeah, right. And you can even link the 2 units together with a crossed Ethernet cable, and then you can use that keyboard to search on either of the units.
Okay, cool.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions, Ato?
I've got one question. MIDI functions, does the display, for example, if you're using it to control tractor, will the display read back what the track name is or anything like that?
Okay, that's software dependent. On Virtual DJ, the latest version of Virtual DJ, the Virtual DJ does feed back to the 3700 display. At the moment, that isn't the case with a lot of the other MIDI programs. On that side of things, it's really down to the MIDI software writers themselves to offer that feedback support. Obviously, if you are using it as a MIDI controller, you'll have a laptop somewhere nearby, and one of the main things there is the laptop DJ would say that he likes having a 14 or 15-inch display. But as far as localized information, yes, it can be displayed on the 3700 screen, but it's software dependent on the software writers.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kutsky?
Yeah, just a quick one. You said you can get like 50,000 tracks on it and stuff. Is there any software that you can have on your computer, you know, to kind of organise it, like read an iTunes library or?
Yeah, in the box with it, it comes with Denon DJ Music Manager, so that you can use that on a PC at home and organise the tracks, etc., load new tracks in as you rip them, sort them into playlists. You can create playlists from the front panel if needs be, but obviously it's easier with a larger screen. And that really acts like a library software as well for new tunes you're bringing in, getting wave data, BPM searching, etc.
And to follow on, you can also plug iPods into this. Now, the way that works obviously is it's accessing the iPod's database. Now, I haven't personally tried exporting an iTunes playlist onto a hard drive and then just plugging the hard drive in there and seeing if it works in the same way. But, you know, logic would dictate that would most likely work. But you can use, as Gary said, you can use a Denon Music Manager software to organise all your tunes if you want. Otherwise, you know, it will read iTunes playlists off of an iPod. As I say, I'm not sure about a hard drive though.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Thank you, chaps. Coming up next, we've got Next Beat, and that'll be demonstrated by RLP.